Good morning, students. Well, chapter number 8, internal trade, is going on, and the topic is fixed shop large retailers. Okay, and in that we have discussed departmental store, chain stores, and yesterday we have discussed mail order houses. Well, today we are going to discuss our next topic in this one, that is consumer cooperative society. Students, this is not a new concept for you. This we have already studied in chapter number 2, form of business organization. Consumer cooperative society is a voluntary organization formed by the consumers to serve each other. Okay. Voluntary organization is the people who have the same taste and same interest. They can join these cooperative societies. In fact, these cooperative societies are, constituted by the members, and why do they form this? The reason is the consumable items. These are very costly. Everyone knows that. If we buy it from the market, so we have to pay more prices for that. So these people, minimum 10 people are required to form the consumers cooperative society. So these 10 voluntary people, they start their consumers cooperative society. They join their hand and they eliminate the middleman. So directly these people, they buy from the manufacturer, and the members of this cooperative society, they are the consumers, and they use these items at very reasonable prices because they have eliminated the middleman. Retailers, they have eliminated. They are not buying from the retailer. As we people are buying from the market, okay? So we are buying from the retailers, and these people, they are buying from the wholesaler, and wholesalers, they are getting from the manufacturer. So the chain of distribution is very lengthy, and as many people will be in that, more people will be there in this chain, so the item will be more costly because everyone charges their margin. So that purpose runs behind this consumers cooperative store. These are the voluntary organizations formed by the consumers themselves to help each other. Okay. So here it is explaining that consumer cooperative store is a voluntary organization owned, managed and controlled by the consumers themselves. The objective of such stores is to eliminate the middleman who increases the cost of product, and I have explained how the cost increases. Okay. Now, what are the features of these cooperative societies? The features will explain you more about it. Consumer cooperative stores generally buy in large quantities. As you know that I'm not only the consumer, so many people are there. Minimum 10 required, but this can go to any extent. Suppose 100 members are there. So these 100 people, consumers cooperative society, everyone is using the grocery. Okay, so everyone is purchasing the grocery for 1 month, so that requires a huge amount. So we don't have to buy it from wholesaler even, directly we buy from the manufacturer. So they get it from the reasonable prices. Next one, in order to start a consumer cooperative society, at least 10 people we require. This also we have done. Next is the capital is raised by issue of shares to the members. How these people get the capital? Of course, all the members, they have to contribute this capital. But the capital will be brought in the form of the shares. Shares means, we divide the whole capital in small parts. These are called the shares. In BST, I have explained. Okay. Next, the objective of consumer cooperative society is to save its members from exploitation of the middlemen regarding price, quality and weight. We know that when we go to the market, so they charge more prices, the quality is inferior, adulteration is there, and less weight they give us. So they are exploiting from all the way. So we can save ourselves from all these things. And the consumer cooperative stores are owned, controlled and managed by the members themselves. Members offer voluntary services to manage and carry on the activities of the cooperative store. Generally, these cooperative societies, these cooperative stores are managed by the members. They are doing everything. They are purchasing, they are handling the things, marketing, everything they are doing. Okay, and they are managing means controlling. Next is the profit of the cooperative store is distributed among members according to the purchases made by each member. Well, how the profit distributed? That has distributed in the different way. 3 steps were there which we have discussed in detail in BST. So a little part they keep it as a reserve, and the remaining they distribute on the basis of their capital contributed, and a little part they distribute on the basis of the business which you have provided. Means as more items you have purchased, the more share of profit you get. In that ratio, the profit has been distributed very scientifically. Okay. So these were the features, and out of the feature we all know that some merits and demerits will be there. So what are the advantages of the consumer cooperative store? The first one is ease of formation. Well, now you can understand why we are calling it ease of formation, because we have seen the formation of company, which is very complicated, and so many legal formalities we have to complete, legal restrictions are there while doing the work, so such kind of things are not there. So any 10 adult persons can form a consumer cooperative store. The registration process is simple, involving a few legal formality only. Next we have limited liability. Well, students, limited liability means the liability of the members is confined up to their value of shares. Suppose you have one share of rupees 100 each, for example, and if you have paid this 100 rupees, so you don't have to pay anything else when any other liability arises. Okay, so this is limited liability. Suppose you have paid 60 rupees, another example. Out of this 100 rupees, you have paid 60 rupees. Now, you are liable to pay only 40 rupees in case liability arises. So, this is called limited liability. Now, the personal assets of the members are safe from being used to repay the business debts. Alright. The detailed discussion we have already done in BST, previous chapters. So, limited liability. Your liability is confined to your amount only. What is unlimited liability? In that situation, if your business assets are not sufficient to pay the business liability, then your personal property will be used for that purpose. That is unlimited liability. Next is your democratic management, equality in voting status. Democracy means one person, one vote, as we know. Okay. In case of company students, it is important to do the comparative study here, because there is also voting system, there is also shares. In case of company, if you have 10 shares, so you have 10 votes. As many shares are there, that number of votes you can give. If you have 1000 shares, so you have 1000 voting rights. Okay. So in company, the people who have more shares, they have voting rights. They have the controlling power. But in case of consumers cooperative society, suppose you have 1000 shares of this society, this consumer cooperative store, 1000 shares you are having, but your vote will be single only. As you are a single person, so single vote will be there. Alright, so democratic system has been followed. Next one is lower prices. The prices are lower automatically. When you are buying from the manufacturer, you have eliminated the retailers and wholesalers, so definitely the prices will be very less. Okay, so lower prices. Next one is cash sales. The cooperative stores sell goods only on cash basis to their members, and hence it requires less working capital, because as you have purchased the thing and you are selling it and realizing the cash. So operating cycle is very less and you are realizing it very soon. So you require less capital and no question of the bad debts. Okay. Next is your consumer protection. Consumers are protected against the risk of adulteration, overcharging and exploitation by greedy traders. These stores help to check wasteful competition and monopoly. Well, students, the members of the society, they are quite safe from all these problems as we have discussed. Okay. No adulteration will be there, no exploitation, no extra charges, and proper weight of the item will be there. So consumers will be protected, okay, if they are the members of the cooperative stores. All right. Well, side by we have certain limitations also. What are those ones? Shortage of fund. Well, why we have formed this consumers cooperative society? Because we want the items on the economical rate. So a few people who have joined the hand, they have, they don't have more finance. Okay, always the cooperative societies, these are at such a level where this is not on the large scale. Okay, so these societies are such a level where they are always feeling the financial crisis. Okay. So consumer cooperative store faces a shortage of capital because they are run by a middle income group. The funds raised are limited to the money raised from members by issue of share. That is, this is also one of the points that why we people have joined the hand, because we are from the middle class family. So these people form the cooperative societies, cooperative stores, so they have a financial problem. Okay. Next one is lack of initiative. The cooperative stores are managed by the people who work on honorary basis. So there is a lack of initiative and motivation to work more efficiently and effectively. Students, they are not going to get anything else. No extra amount will be given to the people who are managing, who are doing the work. As we have discussed, this is the voluntary association and the whole work is done by its members. Okay. We have contributed the capital, no salary will be given, nothing, everyone will be doing the work. So a kind of motivation is not there. Okay. Direct motivation, when you do hard work and you get money, if you are giving more time, so you are getting more income or funds, it is not like that. So lack of initiative is there, so nobody is willing to take the initiative for certain things. They take it as a burden that so many people are there, then why should I do the work when rest of them are not doing? So these kind of feeling comes sometimes, so that is one of the limitation. Then we have lack of incentives. There is no direct relation, this I have explained in this point only, no direct relation between the work and reward in consumers cooperative. Members participating in management get no extra income. So that feeling is missing. If I do something good, if I put more efforts, if I give more time, so I'll be getting some advantage, some benefit will be there. Okay, and some advantage incentives will be there. No, this kind of thing is not there, right? So that is missing, and somewhere that affects the performance of the people or of the members who are working. Next is lack of storage facilities. Well, as we know that this has been started by the middle class people and they are always facing the financial crisis, so they don't have this much money to construct their separate warehouse and all. So storage facility की problem रहती है. Consumer cooperatives can't afford to construct a warehouse and they can't afford to pay rent for public warehouses to store their goods. As a result, they can't maintain large stock to cater to the needs of their members. So somehow they manage that, but generally they face this problem. They don't have much storage places. Okay. Next, we have lack of business training. The people who manage the cooperative stores lack expertise to run the stores efficiently. Students, if we talk about any other form of business organization like companies, especially I'm talking, board of directors are there, one managing director is there. So we can have the professionals over here. We can appoint the MBAs who manage the business efficiently, but this thing is missing here. These cooperative stores are managed, run and controlled by their members. If they are not perfect in any skill, if they don't have management skills, management abilities are not there, so they can't manage properly. Very simple. Okay, so these kind of problems these societies they have to face. Okay, so lack of business training. So that's all, students. That's all in cooperatives consumer store. We have discussed the features, merits and limitations we have done. Now we will talk about the supermarket. Okay. Well, supermarkets are the large retail stores, as you know, we have mentioned that, selling a wide variety of the consumer goods like food items, grocery, utensils, clothes, electronic appliances, household goods and medicines under one roof. Supermarket you might have seen, you might have visited, under one roof you are getting different things. So it is not departmental store. One should be very clear, that is totally different thing and this one is different. Okay. Supermarket or super bazaar, this is run on the small scale comparatively to the departmental is quite big one. Okay. So here you get this is large retail stores, but not that large as the departmental is there. All right, and variety of the things are available under one roof. So what are its features? More clarity will be there by this. The first one, wide variety. Supermarkets supply a wide range of products like food products, widely used consumer products, and rest of the things generally which we get at the general store and all. Next one is self-service. People might have visited the super bazaar, supermarkets. So we have to serve ourselves. The things has been displayed on the counters. We take a bag and something to keep the things and select the items and keep yourself. Self-services are there. Next, we have the low prices. Well, the scales of economy is applicable here also, because here they are working on the large scale and number of consumers are visiting. So these people also buy it from the manufacturers directly, not from the wholesaler. So they can save the prices and the reasonable prices will be charged. So the prices of products are generally lower as compared to other type of retail stores. Next is cash sales. Of course, here also the goods has been sold on the cash basis, no bad debts are there. So this point we can have in the advantages. Next is central location. In fact, they try their best to establish it at the heart of the city, centrally located, but sometimes this is not possible. Okay. So these were the features. Now we'll discuss about the advantages which comes from the features, okay, and limitations also. So the advantages, first one roof and low prices, okay. All the items are available under one roof. Students, isn't it comfortable when you go to the market? 5 items you have to take from the 5 corners and you are getting all these 5 items under one roof. So the time you can save, the time which you are supposed to waste here and there, so that you can save energy, you can save time. So, and low prices, as we have discussed, that we are availing the benefits of the large scale operations. They are buying in the bulk from the manufacturer. So one roof, low prices. Second one is central location. Here the benefit is there. Most of the people, they can arrive at one particular place. What happens, students, if this is quite true, that the people who are living in the one corner of the city, that will be difficult for them. From all the corners, this will be difficult for them. Okay, but if it is centrally located, so the people, they can come from the nearby area. So maximum people they can attract by here. But if it is situated at any one corner, so I don't say the people won't go, consumer won't go, of course they will go. But people who are living nearby, they will visit, and rest of the areas will be untouched. Okay? So it's always beneficial to have centrally located. Next one is wide selection, as we have discussed, variety of the things, variety of the range we are keeping. So good selection. Next one is no bad debts, as I have already explained. We are selling on the cash basis, so no bad debts are there. Last benefit which is given here, that is benefits of large scale production. I have explained it earlier when I have said that large scale operations are applicable. So that is the same thing, benefits of large scale production. So when you are producing the items on the large scale, so the cost cost per item will be less. So the same thing we are availing here. So supermarket is a large scale retailing store. It enjoys all the benefits of the large scale buying and selling, because of which its operating costs are low. I hope it is clear. What are the limitations? No credit. So one side, everything has some pros and cons. One side, one group of people, this is advantageous to them, that cash basis may have no bad debts are there. From business point of view, if we think, so that is good. But if we think from customer's point of view, so this is drawback. If somebody wants it on the credit basis, so that's not available. Next one is no personal attention, as we have discussed that the things have been displayed in the racks and all. So self-service is there, you have to select the item yourself. Okay, so no personal attention, nobody is attending you personally, and no convincing the customers and all. Then mishandling of goods. 100% you might have mishandled the goods sometime when you go to the malls and all. We select the items, we see that, especially for the clothes, we are taking 5-6 clothes and going to the trial room, and we are just keeping the things done in their room. Okay, we are not placing the things at a place from where we have taken. And the same thing happens regarding rest of the items also. So mishandling is one of the biggest problem in these kind of large scale fixed shops. Okay. Next one is high overhead expenses. Well, this is managed, okay, scale of economies are available, but still the items will be expensive because of heavy overhead expenses. Overhead is what? Expensive, okay. So high overhead expenses. When they are running it on the large scale, so many, number of employees are there. So many employees are there. They have to pay their salary, electricity bill, air conditioner, okay, and certain other facilities which they are providing. So the things will be costly. So here they are explaining supermarkets incur high overhead expenses, therefore it's not able to create low prices appeal among consumers. Next and last one is huge capital requirement. Well, when they are keeping variety of the things, it is working on the large scale, of course, and number of items, everything we can get under one roof. Okay, so they have to spend a lot. Means capital requirement is very high. Establishing and running a supermarket requires huge capital investment. Right, students? So I have pointed out at many times that departmental store is totally different from supermarket. So they have given the differences also. Let's talk about these differences, how they would differ from each other. First base of the difference is your credit facilities. Departmental stores used to provide the goods on the credit basis, but supermarket don't provide the goods on credit basis. Second one is services. Well, it offers various services like free home delivery of goods and provision of restroom, telephone, booths, restaurant, hairdressing, salon, etc. All these, the services they are providing. But in supermarket, they don't provide such kind of services. Well, self-service, and we know that in departmental store there is no self-service system. These are the separate shops like thing under one roof you get, okay. So there is no principle of the self-service. They will show you, they will attend you personally, but in case of supermarket, we know that you have to serve yourself. Now, salesmanship is very important. There are large number of salesmen to convince the consumers. Students, the basic difference is departmental store. Means under one roof, different departments, means different small shops you will find. So every shop is an individual itself. They will have the different employees, different attendant, means salesperson and all. So salesmanship is very important in the departmental undertakings. Not undertaking, I'm sorry. This is departmental store. Okay. So they are attending the customers personally and trying to convince them. But this doesn't happen in the supermarket. No salesmanship is there. Well, prices if we talk, so still the prices are very high for the departmental stores, but for the supermarket prices are high, but not to that level, okay? Reasonable prices comparatively. So prices are relatively lower because of bulk purchasing and all. Alright students, so here we have completed this internal trades, this topic consumers, cooperative store and the supermarket. These two topics we have completed. Now we will discuss the third one, that is shopping mall. I think you people know better than me about the shopping malls. Number of times you people have visited, okay? So let's talk about the shopping mall, technically what they are explaining. Well, shopping mall is an indoor shopping complex where shops, stores of various goods and services are available in one building itself. People can walk from store to store through interconnected walkways to purchase various products. A shopping mall may also contain multiplex cinema halls, we know that, okay? Like fun cinema, PVR, restaurants, food courts, okay? Kids fun zone, all these things are available in the mall. So mall is a compact thing where you have the entertainment and where you have the things for the shopping also. But students, you should not get confused with the supermarkets and departmental undertaking and all. I tell you one difference, although it is not given here, but let me tell you myself. Departmental store. You may think that we have a mall and under mall the different shops are there and almost all kind of things are available. But still it is completely different from departmental. Departmental store owner is one only. But here the mall, how this works? The owner of the mall is somebody else. He construct the building and then he give the small shops on the rent, or he can invite the public to purchase it. right? So I may have one small shop in the mall, you may also have one shop over there. So it's not that single owner is having the complete things, okay? That works on the different concept. Well, what are the features? More clarity. First one is large size. We know that a shopping mall is a large size retail shopping complex in which a large number of shops, stores are available in one building itself. Well, second one is wide range. We know that wide variety of the things are there, wide range is available, and not only one garment shop, number of shops will be there, so we can have the wide range. Next one is your services. Here also we know certain kind of services has been provided. So we have the restaurant services, salon is there, and restrooms are there, and you will find some games and these kind of sports activities for the kids. These kind of things are available. So many services are there. Okay. The next one is your central location. Everyone try their level best to have or to possess these things or to construct these things at the heart of the city. But always this is not possible. But they try. So this is has been included in the features. Next one is heavy advertisement. These shopping malls, they have to spend a lot on the advertisement. So heavy amount has been spent over there. And shopping mall undertake heavy advertisements to attract consumers, like Big Bazaar offer 50%, so and so. Right, students? So that is their selling strategy. These were the features, and out of the features we will discuss merits and demerits. Well, the convenient shopping advantages we are talking. Convenient shopping, once again, the quite that's very clear that you don't have to go here and there and under one roof. The things are available. The different shops are there. So variety of the things, and the different kind of items are available. You can purchase. Next one is wide choice is there, no problem. Then cash sales means no credit sale. Fine, the cash sale is there, no bad debts will be there. Other facilities they are providing as restaurants are there, food courts, multiplex cinema. So these are the other facilities. Okay, so these were the advantages of the shopping mall. What are the limitations? Huge capital investment. Of course, they have to invest a lot. Just have a thought about it. Large building, and then number of shops are there, different items, branded items. So they have, and number of services they are providing. So huge capital investment is required to run a mall. Okay. Next one is high operating cost. Investment is one thing. One time investment, you have constructed the building, this and that, everything has been set up. But to run it, operating, इसको operate करना, daily basis पे इसको operate करना, that is also very expensive. Okay, as many services you are providing, as number of things you are giving, so that kind of expenses will also be there. Next we have high price. Well, students, generally we think that these services which they are providing, and the good building and number of things, number of facilities which you find. So no facility is provided free of cost. These people are charging for each and everything. Okay, so ultimately the cost comes on the consumers. So due to high operating cost, prices charged by stores are very high as compared to small retail shops. Only rich persons can afford to buy goods from shopping malls. You might have noticed, students, well, it is not that Cross Point Mall, that is okay, fine. But if you go to Gurgaon and Delhi, you will find very big malls are there. So you will find so many items here we get at the economical rate, and the absolutely same item you get at the higher prices. That is because of their facilities which they are providing, they are charging high. Last one is not located in residential area. As we have discussed, these are centrally located and everyone try to situate it at the heart of the city. But this is one of the drawback. If it is situated at the heart of the city, so problematic for those people who are living far away from this place, from the malls. Okay, and as we have small shops, the retailers shops are available at all the nook and corners of the city. nearby our house. We can have some shops, we can buy certain things very easily. So these kind of facilities are not there. Of course, it won't be there. So not located in residential area. Shopping malls are not located in residential colonies, so mostly people prefer to buy goods from local retail shops like Reliance Fresh, etc. People find it difficult to reach shopping malls. So those people who find difficulty reaching over there, so they buy from their street or from the nearby area. So this is one of the drawback for these malls, especially because so many consumers who are willing to come, but they can't come because of this. Alright children, so here we have completed the topic shopping mall. Well, I think it is sufficient for today, and rest of the topic we will take in next class, and we will wind up the chapter. We will try to wind up the chapter in the next class. Thank you.